The Ambassadors Fund for Cultural Preservation was created by the U.S. Congress in the fall of 2000. Overseen by the U.S. Department of State, the program supports the preservation of cultural sites and objects and myriad forms of traditional cultural expression in more than 120 developing countries around the world. By taking a leading role in preserving cultural legacies, the program illustrates America's deep and enduring respect for the diversity embodied in our shared global heritage. World Monuments Fund has been fortunate to work closely with the State Department on several recent projects. At Phnom Bakheng, a 9th century temple at Angkor in Cambodia, we began work in 2004 by conducting a study focusing on the site's history, significance, and current condition. A pilot project was then implemented on the collapsed lowest level of the southwest corner, along with urgent stabilization measures throughout the complex. With additional support from the State Department in 2007 and 2011, WMF launched the second phase of the project to stabilize and restore the temple's east elevation, as well as the eastern halves of the south and north elevations. Working closely with Apsara, the authority for the protection and management of Angkor, WMF's conservation program involves disassembling wall sections that are structurally unsound, conserving the stone blocks, and reassembling the facades and terraces using as little new stone as possible. The repair will also reinstate the temple's original water management system using both traditional and modern materials. WMF has been making substantial progress to conserve and rehabilitate the local infrastructure and economies of 2 islands off the Tanzanian coast that contain the historic ports of Kilwa Kisiwani and Songo Manara. As Swahili trading cities that flourished from the 13th to the 19th centuries, these sites house significant standing ruins, including a number of mosques, palaces, and domestic dwellings. Support from the Ambassadors Fund for Cultural Preservation allowed major preservation work to be completed in 2012. A key component of this work was employing and training local residents, which included courses in traditional stone carving and cutting. 2013 will see continued progress on a land use plan to manage development pressure, the completion of a coastal erosion study to assess environmental challenges, as well as continued preservation work. Sirpur Kicht, or the Church of the Holy Savior, is located at the Ani archaeological site near the Turkish city of Kars. The building dates from the early 11th century, and even in its ruined state is considered one of the best surviving examples of ecclesiastical Armenian architecture in Turkey. The Ambassadors Fund for Cultural Preservation enabled WMF to undertake significant stabilization of the church in the latter half of 2012. Workers moved and consolidated roughly 650 fallen wall fragments and organized them to facilitate the second phase of laser scanning. The excavation process also yielded a number of exciting discoveries. The original building footprint was revealed, as well as the location of a pilgrim hostel mentioned in site inscriptions. A number of graves containing fragments of human and animal bones, along with pieces of glass, pottery, and wooden elements were also found. The conservation planning process continues, and significant progress is anticipated for 2013. The ancient city of Babylon in Iraq is one of the world's most important and recognizable archaeological sites. The site is known for the extraordinary animal figures created in relief on the earthen bricks of its processional way. WMF has been collaborating with the Iraq State Board of Antiquities and Heritage to create a management plan for Babylon, while also completing conservation projects identified by the Iraqi authorities as critical to the site. In 2012, State Department support allowed for significant progress on the plan, as well as for a conditions analysis and conservation documentation and planning for the Ishtar Gate, Nabusha Kare Temple, and the Inner City Wall. In 2012, one of the significant milestones was the removal of accumulated debris from the ancient cisterns, allowing them to be opened for the first time since the 1980s. In 2013, attention will focus on Nabusha Kare Temple and its historic inner wall plasters. The medieval churches of Lalibela, Ethiopia, famous for being carved from living rock, has been dear to WMF hearts since the early years of the organization in the 1960s. Though work at Lalibela has had to occur in fits and starts, support from the Ambassadors Fund for Cultural Preservation is allowing work to begin anew. With the expertise that only decades of connection to a site can provide, WMF is now able to re-engage stakeholders and focus on targeted preservation and training activities. Biet Gabriel Raphael Church, in urgent need of stabilization and repair, will be WMF's primary focus in 2013. While a highly trained conservation crew cannot be created instantly, WMF's work at Lalibela is intended to build these resources as an equally important and revitalizing component of its preservation activities. These 5 projects reflect how, working together, World Monuments Fund and the U.S. Department of State are ensuring that the world's precious cultural heritage is preserved for generations to come.